Okay, so after giving a route a name, just as we saw here, you can actually do some pretty cool stuff with this. Like, let's go back to the documentation. We have our route here. We gave our route name home, just as we did back here. And we can get route data using this get route method. So let's copy this and see what we get. So we are going to replace all of this code here with that. So what we're doing here is getting the current route, and then because we set a name here, we are hoping we can get this particular route's name. So let's see what we get. So we go back here and refresh, and we get home. Now, if you don't believe that's what's actually happening, we can change this to home 222, and back here we have home 222. So that's an example. But if you're kind of curious about what getRoute actually outputs, we can JSON encode it because it's either an array or an object. So we JSON encode it and we throw in route there. And this is the full object. So this is one reason why we usually want to use leaves response methods instead of using echo or any other PHP method, because um, leaf accurately handles the um, content type. So in this case, we are getting a content type of HTML, even though application is outputting JSON. So let's just deal with it, and we'll talk more about content types later. So in this case, we have a pattern, and this is the pattern. We have our path, which is pretty much the same in some situations. The methods which are allowed to handle this route, we have only get. If we had more, they would show up here. We have name, and then the handler, and then parameters. So pretty much that's what we're getting from this getRoute function here. So getRoute returns data about the current route. In this case, this is the current route. So that's what we get. Pretty cool stuff. But we can do more as usual. So we can navigate from one page to another using the route name. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to add a second route. Okay, a second route, and we'll call this route test with a name of test. We don't really need to name it, but well, let's just do it. In this case, we can say up push, and up push takes in either a string or an array. So if we pass in a random string here, that would redirect us to slash home. But if we pass in square brackets, just like we did here, so an array with only one item, leave or assume you want to use a route name instead of a string. So let's save this and let's go back to our browser. Let's go to slash test, and hopefully we should be redirected to the home route. And we get this error. Well, that's funny but expected because we named our route home 222. So let's make that home again. And this time we're redirected here. So that works perfectly. That works as we expected. Okay, so those are some of the pretty cool things you can do with route parameters and getting route data and redirecting to other routes.